This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 206 of The Real Word.
Word is up. Look at you changing it up there. 206. It's like you're in the 203.
Changing it up?
Yeah.
203. Only people from Connecticut know what being in the 203
Well,
means.
I know what the 203 means, but usually you say this is episode 206.
You ever notice that when you say an area code for a phone number, like I'm in the 203, I'm in the 860, but then when you say
Well,
the rest of the phone number, you use 0 instead of O? You ever notice that? That's a thing people do.
let me do my phone number 203-430-5926. Yeah.
Hit up Nicole. There you go. Hit her
That's my
up.
phone number. Yeah. That's so
Send
funny. I do that. I do have an O and a 0. Okay.
send Nicole a text message. Like,
Woo.
if you call her and she doesn't have you saved, she's gonna red button you anyways. All right,
Obviously. Even if I do have you saved, am I right about red button you?
not me.
I
All
don't
right,
know.
racket number 1, United Van Lines 45th National Movers Study has come out, and it reveals the top states people moved to and from. So just like on episode 204, where we covered the U-Haul study, this
Wait,
is
wasn't that just 205?
no, it was 204. It was 204.
I feel like
So
we just talked about this yesterday.
no. So
Okay.
U-Haul was episode 204. You can go back and take a look at the U-Haul study if you like, but
Yep.
this one is particular to United Van Lines data. So this is not US Census Bureau, which we're going to cover on a later show. Okay. So very specific to this company, United Van Lines released their 45th annual mover study, which indicates Americans were on the move to lower density areas and to be closer to their families throughout the last year. The annual study, which tracks the company's exclusive data for consumer state-to-state migration patterns, where U-Haul was basically data on one-way trips.
Right.
Okay, so this has determined that Vermont, as the state with the highest percentage of inbound migration, 74% with United Van Lines.
Which I
just
remember
wanna
with U-Haul, though. Remember I said I'm a little surprised that Vermont didn't move because I
No,
think in the
Vermont did.
U-Haul.
I think you were talking about New Hampshire,
Oh,
because Vermont
maybe I was. Okay.
on U-Haul, Vermont did. It moved up from 26 all the way to 12.
Okay,
New
but New
Hampshire
Hampshire.
did
Okay,
not
yeah.
have a big jump.
Yeah.
New Hampshire was 25th, and they were 23 the previous year, so they actually moved back a couple spots. That's
Yep.
on U-Haul. Just
Yep.
so we're like staying clear on the two
Yes.
study here. So Vermont number 12 on U-Haul, but here it was the highest percentage of inbound migration on United Van Lines at 74%. Topping the list of outbound locations was New Jersey at 71%.
Mm-hmm.
And that's held the spot for the last 4 years for United Van Lines. South Dakota, South Carolina, West Virginia, and Florida were inside the top 5, rounding out the top 5 for, and this
Moving
is all
in.
2021 data.
Mm-hmm.
And then Illinois, New York, Connecticut, and California were in the bottom 5 along with Jersey. Now, we saw Connecticut on U-Haul jump up a whole bunch. I mean,
A
it jumped
whole
from
bunch.
43 to 18, but on this study, it's still putting Connecticut in the
Top
bottom
5.
5,
Yeah.
60% outbound. So what I love about United Van Lines when they come out with this study every single year is you can click on each individual state.
Mm-hmm.
So the blue states are the ones that had a, high amount of inbound migration. The yellow states are the ones that had that high outbound migration, and then the gray ones are like neutral. So like if we were to just let's click on Connecticut just to do that, it'll give you the reasons, and it does it for every state, of what were the reasons, primary reason for moving. Retirement. So outbound was 33% for retirement category, inbound was 7%. And they've got retirement, health, family, lifestyle, job, and cost. Then they go into age ranges. Then they go into income. So they go a lot deeper on this one.
And it goes through all the years. I mean, you can go back as far as like 1982 if you want and look and see that same. Oh, maybe not that far back. But it's
But
allowing you to sort of check other years
no,
too.
they go back to no, you're right. They go back to 1977 on
Well, but there's not really any information though. If you go back that far on there, like if I go back to 1985, it's not giving me, it's not
yeah,
allowing
yeah,
me.
it's not as
Yeah,
robust if you click on the
yeah,
state. You're right about
yeah,
that.
yeah.
They do show you the colors. You can go all the way back to 77. They'll show you the colors on the US map, but
13,
the data's obviously gotten
2013. Yeah,
better over the years.
yeah. 2013 looks like the first year that they really started filling it up a little more. Yeah.
And you can kind of like when you click on Florida, for example, you see that inbound 39% was due to retirement. 22% was family, 27% was lifestyle. So 39% basically being retirement means that there's still a lot of boomers moving down to a place like Florida, which is great for the economy for the next 10, 15 years. But like Ivy Zellman says, in 2030, some of those areas where there's a lot of boomers, you'll see a big increase in inventory in those specific areas starting in 2030. So good for the next, say, 8 or 10 years for that economy. But is it going to cause a little bit of an inventory issue, which is crazy to think about right now, that you would have, in a place like South Florida, for example, too much inventory. But in 10 years, long time, you could see an inventory issue, meaning too much inventory.
Potentially, but I mean, we're always talking about all these, Gen Xers and all that are going to be flooding the scenes too. So I guess you don't never really know.
Wasn't Gen X like a WWF team? It was
D.
D-Generation X, DX, D-Generation X, X-Pac, and Razor
When
Ramon.
was that though? Like, I feel like that was after my time.
This is when the WCW and the
It's
WWF had their whole like war going on, and it was like I feel like it was right after or during that war where you had the people that don't know follow wrestling are gonna be like, yeah,
right.
this is insane. What are these
What are they
people
talking
talking about?
about?
This guy's
Yeah.
a psychopath.
Well, they just know The Rock. They don't know anything before The Rock.
The Rock just had that whole thing where he had that T-Rex skull on his desk, and people were wondering if it's real. Did you see that whole controversy?
I did not.
Yeah. Anyways,
Hmm.
his skull's kind of like a T-Rex skull. The dude's a monster.
He is a monster. He's a big old man.
All right, so moving in, just to wrap this up, United Van Lines, Vermont, South Dakota, South Carolina, West Virginia, Florida, and then you had Alabama, Tennessee, Oregon, Idaho, and Rhode Island. Wow, and Rhode Island got crushed on U-Haul, didn't they?
I don't remember. I feel like I don't remember.
No, they didn't. That was Massachusetts. I was thinking. So Rhode Island was right in the middle of the pack, but certainly not in the top 10. They were in the 30s there on U-Haul. So that's a top 10 for United Van Lines. Top outbound states, top 10. We gave you the top 5, Jersey, or the bottom 5, Jersey, Illinois, New York, Connecticut, California. Man, those are always in that 5
Always.
for this
Yep.
study.
Mhm.
Michigan, Mass, Louisiana, Ohio, and Nebraska round out. And then they had Kentucky, Wyoming are among the balanced states, along with basically everybody else that we didn't mention. So if we didn't mention your state, drop us in the comments. Say, hey, come on now. What's up with Georgia? You didn't say Georgia. What's up with us?
I don't know. Maybe Georgia's good then. They're not
They're balanced,
moving
yeah.
out. They're not moving in.
Everybody's staying. Nobody
be
wants to
happy.
leave.
Right.
But I guess nobody's going in. Now,
well,
a lot of people going in there.
Georgia?
Yeah. The GA? People love the GA.
Do you have to talk like that when you're talking about Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. What happened?
No.
What happened?
I love my Georgia people. Come on. They do actually talk about Gen Xers here. Nicole, you brought up Gen Xers.
I did.
Amid the pandemic, many Gen Xers are retiring. Gen Xers are retiring, often at a younger age than past generations. Gen X is right between millennial and baby boomers.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Joining baby boomer generation. Can't imagine that there's too many Gen Xers.
Well, what's the age? I think 40 is the youngest, probably, right? And then it goes up to what? Probably 50, 55 Gen Xers. Let's look at the dates. Look at the dates.
What are the dates for Gen Xers? That's a great question.
I think
Gen X is
1965.
Born between mid 60s, yeah,
and 79. Yeah.
Early 80s, but I mean, like if you were born in 1980, you're,
80.
you're 41 years old.
Yeah, I
Forty-two
was born
years old.
so I was born in '81. That's why I'm a sort of like I hug it. I hug the line. But yeah, 65. I mean, you're talking then s 40, 50,
65. Yeah, if you're an
60,
early
60 years old. Yeah, I
so there
mean,
are some Gen Xers just
ret
starting to
to
retire.
retire. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It says here in the study that many are retiring to places like Florida. The data reveals they're not necessarily heading to heavy populated cities like Orlando and Miami. They're venturing to Punta Gorda, Sarasota, Fort Myers, Cape Coral. These are all West Coast Florida because they're probably going to find less traffic and maybe a better deal. And then so we'll link this up. United Van Lines. You could spend literally all day on this chart,
All day.
clicking around the different stats
Mhm.
on the US map rather, and get a whole bunch of information. This is great data for you. Any state that you're in, you can flip this data a number of different ways, right? So
Mhm.
there's so much information here. You could probably get 30 short form videos if you're an agent based around your state on
Hmm.
this data, on this one study. You can get a ton of information. So we'll
Well,
link it up for you guys, or you can Google in.
you just made yourself the marketeer. Look at you.
I am because of that,
You
because of
are.
that tip.
You're making yourself the marketeer today.
I am the marketeer of the week. We'll link it up. You can Google it. United Van Lines
Dot
45th
com.
annual mover study, and it should pop up 2021 on Google. So definitely not a Racket. Great information there. Dig into it. Racket number 2.
Let's do it.
Many homeowners will be priced out of the market in 2022. Fannie Mae forecasts rising mortgage rates and home prices will dent existing home sales by 3.2%. Now, what does that mean? That means that they're projecting that we'd have about 5.945 million sales this year, which is down. We went over 6 million sales in 2020 with 6.83 million sales. So, they're saying it would go down that isn't 3.2%. That's much bigger than 3.2. No, okay. So they're saying it's going to fall from 6.91 million sales in 2021 to 6.83 million this year. That's your 3.2%
Mhm.
is what they're projecting in new home sales. That is still one of the best year, second best year since 2006. So it's not a huge drop, but because of interest rates going up, because of inventory being so low, they could see some people getting priced out this year, and that the total number of sales, not prices, but the total number of sales could drop. Okay. Now, if you're paying attention in the last couple of weeks, you're seeing that rates have definitely gone up. They've been super
Definitely gone
day-to-day
up.
volatile.
Yep.
Like one day they were at as much as 3.8 for a 30-year fix, 3.6, 3.7,
Mhm.
3.5. Like every day they're changing and bouncing around. Obviously the 10-year is driving that and has gone up. But Nicole, well, if you look at the chart here, Fannie Mae and Mortgage Banker Association's mortgage rate forecast, they're
Mhm.
completely, different. Fannie Mae's the blue line. If you follow the
Yep.
blue line, they're saying that in quarter one of 22, we're going to be at 3.2%. Well, we've already seen it much higher than 3.2%. They're
Right.
saying in quarter three of 22, it's going to be 3.3%. So their forecast is already wrong because we've already seen, I mean, unless they think it's going to,
Come back down.
this volatility is not going to last very long and it's going to come back down. It's going to average out in quarter one, where Mortgage Banker Association is at 3.3, 3.5% for quarter one, quarter
It goes
two.
well over 4% too by next
And
year.
yeah, and so in 23, to your point, MBA is over 4% the entire year, where Fannie Mae is sitting like flat all year in
Mid threes. Yep.
2023 at 3.5%. I don't know. I mean, I gotta believe with the volatility we've seen recently that Mortgage Baker Association is going to be closer to being accurate because they're showing a steady increase all year, going and ending in quarter four just over 4%. I mean, when we've seen days as high as 3.8, it makes me want to like lean towards their numbers as opposed to Fannie Mae, which is just like pretty flat, steadily increasing from 3.2 to 3.5 at the end of 23. None of us know what's going to happen, but when you talk to lenders, they're like, we're getting signals that
they're at 4.
This is getting bad.
Yeah. Yep. And it's unfortunate because it's being compounded by inflation too. So it's just like, at what point do you just say mercy, But anyway,
so that will, I mean, if we go Mortgage Baker Association, that will price people out. Obviously,
for sure.
somebody is, the end of the last year doing their numbers at 3.25, and then all of a sudden they get locked in at 4.
4.25. Yeah.
That changes their payment dramatically. So that's one way people get priced out. Annual home price appreciation by quarter. Now, this chart here shows you, and this is, I believe, throughout the entire year. Actually, no, it shows it going down in 22. So it shows you quarter 1, 22, 15.5% annual home appreciation. So that's the rolling 12% in 22, 10% in quarter 3. So 12% in quarter 2, 9% in quarter 3, and then 7.6% in quarter 4. So it shows it steadily declining. It's basically saying that the peak was quarter 3 of 2021 at 18.5% annual home appreciation. Now, Zillow believes you're going to see it go up in 22 over the 12 months. And so does what's the big one there? It wasn't Wall Street. It was we've talked about it a whole bunch in the past. Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs believes over the next 12 months you're going to see annual appreciation go up. This chart here that we're looking at is showing it actually declining, which would help people not get priced out of homes if it does slowly decline.
Well, I mean, historically with rising prices, it always flips. So if the prices come down, rates go up. I mean, it's usually what happens.
And I'm reading this now, actually, I think the wrong way. So it's showing you just less of an appreciation, but still appreciating from where we are now. So that means, these homes are still going up, which that makes sense. So it's just less of an appreciation. And I believe that. We saw 20% essentially in 2021. I believe we're going to still see double digits, maybe 10% this year, but 10% on top of that 20%. So yes, that's another way that home buyers will get priced out of the market.
Yep.
So yeah, unfortunately, I think that's what we're dealing with, where they don't have many options in terms of inventory to look at. They have the issue of these rates going up and volatility with the rate, and home prices are going to go up in 2022. So some people, as that median price point continues to rise, are not going to be able to buy the home, or they're going to have to go out into a different area, maybe further out from where they're looking, or they're going to have to buy less of a home than they were thinking at the end of 21.
Right.
That's unfortunate for a lot of people. Now,
such great news for this year, right? Bobby, you going to buy a house? Bobby can't buy a house now.
I was planning on.
Yeah.
He was thinking about it until he just listened to this segment. Yeah, no, here's the thing. If the only thing that can help this issue is if a lot of homeowners see that the rate is increasing and they don't want to wait, and they get more inventory on this market. We need more inventory, which would help a little bit, but we need a lot of inventory to really help it out.
Yeah.
All right. Marketeer of the week, Nicole. Another design.
Wait, I thought you were. I thought we were committing
I was
to
the
that.
second
You
Marketeer of the week.
You were. Look at you.
Second run at Marketeer. Wall Street Journal. They're getting into their design stuff. We talked about the big chandeliers. Now they're talking about wallpapering a closet. Okay, so they're saying, and this is Jewel Marlowe's favorite spot to wallpaper. I believe the smaller space, the better the opportunity to make a statement. This is a Washington, D.C. interior designer. Do you agree with that, Nicole, that the smaller the space, the bigger the opportunity to make a statement?
Well, of course. I mean, you and I were even just talking about that this morning. We're redoing your pantry, and I'm like, that's the place for you to That's the place for you to have a little bit more fun. So,
but not too much fun, you told me.
Well, you don't want to have too much fun. What'd you say? You said you're sophisticated. Was that the word you used?
Well, no. You said, you said everybody in that community,
You
my
said
Connecticut
I
house.
said your community is 55 and over, and you said, well, I want it to be sophisticated.
It's not a 55 and over community, to be clear, because I wouldn't be able to move in there.
But you called yourself sophisticated, and you wanted it to stay sophisticated.
I said it's a sophisticated community, and I said I'm classy, and so got to keep it classy.
I don't know that you used the word classy. Did you use the word classy?
Because you said classy. How you always question everything. Classy.
Okay. Well, anyway, I do 100% agree with it. I think that, small bathrooms, I don't know about, obviously I don't have a walk-in closet, so I'm certainly not wasting wallpaper on my little, 1-by-1 closet, but I think I agree with it. It's definitely a wonderful opportunity for you to have a little bit more fun and make it a little bit more appealing, make you want to go into your closet.
Put the photo up. It almost matches one of the shirts.
It's like I don't know that they're going to be able to see. They're not. You're putting this picture up, right, Bobby? Okay.
Yeah, if you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see the photo of this.
No, it definitely matches. The dress that's the closest to us. It definitely matches it. It looks like they're even doing it in like a little pantry area. They're wallpapering their pantry. I love it. I think the bigger the better. I like bold. It's time to have a little bit more fun and color in your life.
Well, I've seen you select wallpapers on flips and investment properties, and I've never seen you pick this particular one that they're highlighting here in the Wall Street Journal. Would you ever pick that one?
No. Nope.
No, I didn't think so.
No.
Usually the ones you did our office up too with some wallpaper.
I did.
A lot of wallpaper.
There is wallpaper. Yeah. We did do our bathroom with boom boxes. So
So Bobby, put a picture of the boombox wallpaper in our bathrooms.
Yes, we have boom boxes in both of our bathrooms. We decided to go a little bit more fun in there. Again, it's a small space. You gotta have fun with it. So, but no, I would never use this wallpaper. But this is a little bit more sophisticated. So maybe we use this in your pantry.
But if we're not going to use this in the pantry. No, we're not using this particular wallpaper.
No,
get a grip here. But so if somebody's advising, someone's getting their house ready to put on the market, an agent is advising, you would say you would agree with this interior designer.
Oh, 100%.
Make 100%. The pops in smaller spaces, not a living room or something like that.
And now with like peel and sticks, you're able to do this all on your own. Just go onto Amazon, order some peel and stick, throw it up there. Even if you're putting it like on the back of your cabinets, you have some glass doors in your kitchen, you could put it on the back of your cabinets. 100%. This is a no-brainer. This is fun.
So DM Nicole on Instagram if you need any wallpaper tips, because she's looking at this stuff all the time. I will have no wallpaper tips for you.
No? So, all right.
No. Or DM her on IG. All right. That's that, Nicole. I'll see you around. See you around the block. I'll see you next week. Yeah. We'll be in person next week.
Well, like the real next week or like the pretend next week?
The next week. The next week.
The
real deal.
The real
word.
Yeah.
We only do the real stuff on the real word.
Well, on occasions.
Appreciate you guys listening. Love for a comment from you if you checked out that Van Line study. Any surprising stats about your state? Love to hear from you. We'll see you guys in the next one.
See you guys.